a remote mountainous region where Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar converge, right at the confluence of the Mekong and Ruak rivers. This is the Golden Triangle. Since the 1990s, it has been known as one of the world's largest opium-producing areas. Today, it has evolved into a major global center for methamphetamine production, not through small-scale smuggling, but via industrial-scale operations involving transnational cartels, armed groups, and even rebel militias. In this episode, we explore the shadow economy, the geopolitics, and the human cost behind Southeast Asia's most infamous crossroads. Today, we will talk about the Golden Triangle region. If you think the Golden Triangle is just an exotic tourist destination, you're gravely mistaken. This is the epicenter of a global drug empire producing methamphetamine. We will rely on Vice's investigative reporting combined with information from the New York Times, The Guardian, Reuters, UNODC reports, and various other sources to tell this story.
According to Reuters and UNODC reports, the Golden Triangle, particularly Myanmar Shan State, is currently the world's largest meth production hub. In 2020 alone, authorities seized 236 tons of methamphetamine in East and Southeast Asia, with the majority originating from Shan State. Hidden deep in the jungles are super labs churning out crystal meth and yaba pills, a cheap, highly addictive drug mixed with caffeine. The Guardian reports that these labs are protected by armed groups like the United Wa State Army, UWSA, which controls large swaths of Myanmar's border areas. The methamphetamine trade isn't just about drugs. It funds insurgencies, fuels corruption, and exploits the political chaos in Myanmar following the 2021 coup. Vice interviewed local residents who shared that farmers grow poppies or work in labs because they have no other means of survival. Poverty pushes them into the arms of cartels, while the kingpins pocket billions of dollars. As the shift from opium to methamphetamine highlights just how dangerous and agile criminal networks have become. Opium was prevalent in the 1990s, but meth is cheaper, easier to transport, and yields massive profits. The Golden Triangle's remote location, coupled with lax governance, creates ideal conditions for these activities. And now let's talk about the figures behind this empire. Vice's reporting highlights the Sam Gore Syndicate, also known as The Company, led by T.C. Kilop, a Canadian Chinese gangster. Reuters dubs him Asia's El Chapo, and UNODC estimates that Sam Gore controls 40% of the Asia-Pacific meth market, earning up to $8 billion annually. $8 billion. That's more than the budgets of some entire country. Sam Gore operates like a multinational corporation with supply chains stretching from Myanmar to Australia, Japan, and even New Zealand. They hide meth in everything from tea packets to car parts. In 2021, Tetsilop was arrested in Amsterdam, but the meth trade continues unabated. Someone is still pulling the strings behind the scenes, possibly linked to triad gangs and corrupt officials who turn a blind eye. Then there's the United Wa State Army, UWSA, a 30,000-strong militia in Myanmar. The New York Times reports that they don't just protect the labs, they operate them. Armed to the teeth, they're untouchable, and Myanmar's military either can't or won't stop them. Vice interviewed a UWSA deserter who revealed that the group collects taxes from drug traffickers, earning millions while claiming to fight for the autonomy of the Wa ethnic group. Global impact. Drugs everywhere. Some of you might be thinking, this is an Asian issue, what does it have to do with me? That's a huge misconception. The flow of methamphetamine impacts the entire world. Reuters reports that meth from Shan State has been seized in Australia, where a single kilogram can sell for $200,000. And in Japan, where yaba is becoming a popular street drug, even Europe is feeling the effects. The New York Times provides an in-depth analysis of how the meth trade is causing addiction crises worldwide. In Australia, meth use has surged, putting immense pressure on the healthcare system. In Southeast Asia, yaba's dirt-cheap price, sometimes less than $1, 0 cents per pill, has hooked everyone from students to truck drivers. Vice captured footage of yaba addicts in Bangkok's slums, trapped with no access to rehabilitation centers. UNODC's 2025 report states that the meth boom in the Golden Triangle is tied to synthetic drug precursors smuggled from China and India. The Guardian notes that these chemicals are legal for industrial use, making it nearly impossible to stop their flow. Vice followed reporters as they navigated checkpoints, revealing how meth is smuggled down the Mekong River to ports in Thailand and Laos before spreading across the globe. The meth trade in the Golden Triangle exposes flaws in international cooperation. Countries point fingers. Myanmar blames Thailand, Thailand blames Laos, but no one addresses the root causes: poverty, weak borders, and lax chemical regulations. Busts and the fight. Can the drug trade be stopped? So is anyone fighting back? The answer is yes. There have been significant busts. In 2020, Myanmar authorities raided Shan State, seizing 193 million yaba pills, hundreds of kilograms of crystal meth, and 162,000 liters of precursor chemicals. This was the largest drug bust in Asian history. But these busts are like a drop in the ocean. Reuters reports that for every lab shut down, 2 more spring up. The 2021 coup in Myanmar made things worse, with political chaos allowing cartels to operate freely and rebel groups ramping up meth production to buy weapons. Thailand and Laos have increased patrols, but smugglers always find new routes, such as maritime paths through the Andaman Sea. ICE interviewed a Thai police officer who said, "We're outgunned and outmanned. The cartels have better technology, drones, encrypted communications than the police." Moreover, the New York Times points out that some officials take bribes to tip off traffickers about raids. UNODC suggests smarter approaches, cutting off precursor supplies, cracking down on money laundering, and investing in rehabilitation programs. Without addressing poverty and weak governance, the Golden Triangle will continue producing meth. It's like a game of whack-a-mole, but the cartels are always one step ahead. What does the future hold? The New York Times warns that Myanmar's ongoing instability could make the meth trade even larger, with new kingpins emerging after Tessie Chilop. UNODC's 2025 report notes that synthetic drugs have now surpassed heroin, with the Golden Triangle as the epicenter. Solutions are not easy. The Guardian proposes sanctions on chemical suppliers, but this risks harming legitimate industries. Vice's interviews with locals call for economic aid, giving farmers alternatives to growing poppies or working in labs. Reuters emphasizes the need for regional task forces, but they are underfunded and overwhelmed. The Golden Triangle's issues are tied to global problems: poverty, corruption, addiction, converging in a lawless region. To fix it, more than police and raids are needed. It requires cooperation, investment, and reducing demand from wealthy nations. Otherwise, the cartels will continue to reign supreme. How can we stop this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for listening. Hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.